Hi, yarn friends. Ellen here at Yarn Dock. Oh, you can't see me for the sun. I am the sun. I light up the place. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm excited. Today, Hubs and I are going on a spontaneous, all of our own creation yarn crawl over in Italy. We're just going to pop over the border to Trieste and see what we can see after the Croatian yarn search was such a bust. You probably saw that video, I don't know, last week or something. We thought, okay, let's try Italian. I mean, they are kind of known for yarn, right? So we're gonna leave the little kids with the bigger kids and Grammy and steal a few hours to ourselves. We have quite a list of yarn shops. We'll see what we get to, and we'll see what the communication is like and if they let me film inside the stores. So yeah, we're about to get in the car and off we go. Oh, what are they doing? What are you doing? You're not going. Off we go to Italy. The first store we visited was Elena Regina Wool, and it's on the outskirts of the city. It's an amazing little shop. You can see it is full of yarn. Every inch, every corner, completely packed with yarn. I wish I bought that cashmere. I really do. That was my regret of the day. First store, and I left it behind. But lovely store, lovely shop owner. I highly recommend. This was a treat and one of my favorite parts of this little excursion. After a delightful visit at our first store, we looked for two more and couldn't find them and decided to park in the city center and go on foot to search for two more stores. This, G. Culotte, is the first of those stores. It is very centrally located, walkable from the main square, and is extremely organized and well laid out. In this store, most of the yarn is behind a counter. And so in order to touch and feel and look at the various things, you have to have assistance from the clerk, and she will
either pull out a ball or the tray that they're sitting in and put it on the counter for you to take a closer look at. For me, that feels like a little bit more pressure to actually buy what I've made her pull out. But it is a very full service kind of shop. So it sort of depends on your personality. I'm not sure that it was the best for my personality type, especially when in getting a ball for me, she ended up knocking over an entire display of yarn. And balls of yarn went everywhere, and we cleaned that up, and I almost lost my cell phone in the process. But it is a very nice shop. They were fluent in English in this store and clearly used to having tourists be in and being able to cater to their needs. Very wide selection, a lot of Italian brands, but also a lot of the major well-known brands from Europe. So definitely a place you can go to find some lovely yarn. The prices were a little higher in this store than they were in the first store. That probably has to do with the proximity to downtown and the port where the cruise ships come in. If you're coming in on a ship, this is your closest yarn store. And yes, it will be walkable from your cruise ship. So enjoy the inside of this store. And again, at the end of the video will be my haul from in here. After the second store, we decided we were hungry. We wanted to spend a little time at the water. I got a little knitting done while I was waiting for my food. And we had a little guest at our table. He was so cute, I couldn't help but taking his little video of our little lunch companion. But it was a lovely day. And we really enjoyed our time in the city as well as the yarn stores. The third and final store that we went to is La Altra Merceria. It was a little bit harder to find, but it was easy walking distance from the second store and also really from the main square or the port, any of that kind of touristy parts of the town. This store was much closer to what I picture in my mind when I think of a yarn store. The yarn was laid out, accessible, done by types and colors within that type. Just sort of this classical idea of what a yarn store looks like. So it was quite different than the other two that we visited. The owner or the person working there was very friendly. Didn't have a lot of English, but we still really seemed to manage to communicate with each other. We were speaking the international language of yarn. So I really did enjoy my time in this shop. The yarns that I found here were quite different than what I found in the other two stores. There were fewer brands here that I was familiar with, as I show you one of the most popular Italian brands, maybe most famous. But by and large, they were mostly brands that I had not heard of before or were unfamiliar with. Lots of blends and a real variety of fiber options. But also in some ways it reminded me more of like big box stores in North America. So once again, enjoy this store and taking a look around. And at the end of the video, I will come back to you with, yes, what I purchased in this store. That's right. I purchased in all three. We left the third store. My arms were full of yarn, and we just walked back through the city, picked up a little gelato because what else are you going to do in Italy? Then it was time to head home.
So, I am filming this the same night that I bought all this, so back from Italy, it's a little bit late. I still have gelato on my dress because we found it and we were on the way back into the parking garage and I took a lick and I lost it. Just like literally rolled down me onto the pavement. So yeah, I am Italy jinxed. Like really, I am Italy jinxed. Every single time in my life that I have gone to Italy, something happened. Starting with the first time I ever went to Italy, I have a deadly seafood allergy. Like if it lives in the ocean, I cannot eat it. I sometimes cannot be in the same room with it. It's that bad. You can feel sorry for me, it's fine, but I don't actually know what I'm missing, so I'm okay with it in that sense. But my very first time in Italy, I was on a tour and I thought I had ordered pasta with mushrooms. I ordered pasta with mussels and I immediately went into anaphylactic shock. And the tour guide's like, oh, well, we leave you here. I'm like, no, you're not leaving me in the middle of Italy where I do not speak a word of Italian and can't breathe. No, no. Luckily, we had some doctors that were traveling on the tour and they were like, we will take care of her. It's okay. It's just, they administered the EpiPens and they're like, we will see that. And that was my first Italian experience, my first meal in Italy. And so today it was like, everything's going remarkably well. And I had just said it. It was my own fault. I had just said it and gelato all over me on the way to pick up the parked car. I assume that I talked about the parking situation in Trieste in the intro to this video, but if not, hooey, I don't know, rent a Vespa. And the place that will be challenging to get to if you don't have a car is the first place that I went, and that was Elena, I have it. I have my receipt here. Elena Regina Wool. Sorry, I've been going in and out of German all day, talking hand gestures. What I love about this yarn world, I just love it, is we may not speak the same language, but we all speak the language of yarn. And when we encounter another yarny, it's just like, oh, and we're just so excited. Even the people that work in yarn stores, they're like, oh, a fellow yarn person. And it is amazing. Like in the last store, really, we didn't have any, I have no Italian. I've like, prego and grazie, and that's it. That's really it. Salami and pizza. Like, other than that, no. But she just talked to me in Italian the whole time, and it's like, yes, I understand. And I would talk to her in English and some German, because where we are, it's pretty close to the German border, and they get a lot of German tourists in Trieste. So sometimes you do better. And my husband could explain the whole long history that it once was sort of Austrian in this area, but it was, anyway, often in this part of sort of Istria, the Mediterranean basin, this kind of, you do better with German than with English. And so we were going back and forth, and we just seemed to actually understand each other. It was amazing. Anyway, that's a different store. So I went to Elena Regina Wool first, and it is worth going to this yarn store, even if you're, say, like on a cruise that docks in Trieste or starts in Trieste. It's sort of on the outskirts, whereas the other two are easy to reach from the port, from the central Old Town main square area, and they are walking distance from each other. So actually, there, when we went to the city center, that was a little easier. We found a parking garage. We just went right to the bottom floor, and there were some spaces there. What it would be like in high season, like in June or July, I don't even want to know. We're there in October. The season is technically over. There was a massive cruise ship in port. I think it was Norwegian Cruise Lines. Man, that thing's like a floating city. I've been on several cruises. It was one of my parents' favorite ways to travel, one of my favorite ways to travel. This thing is just massive. They are building these boats like they're going to need their own zip codes. Anyway, the yarn. So I really like this little store. So as you can see, it's tiny. Pretty much the entire time I was in there, there was another customer in, not always the same customer. So, and they were really nice too. They were trying to translate and, but you know, I had Google. We worked it out. We were able to have a conversation and communicate with each other that way. So if you do go, just bring along a phone. She had her phone out. We were just able to sort of use the Google. And it worked out really, really well. What I loved about this store is it seems chaotic, but it's not nearly as chaotic as it seems. She had really nice brands and reasonable prices for those brands. Whereas I found closer to the city center, they were a little pricier for the yarn, and they probably see more tourists there. The other thing that I liked is the yarn was all accessible. I could touch everything. And that for me was really important. One of the most important things for me when yarn shopping is soft. Like, I really care less if it's acrylic or cashmere. I just want it soft. I want it to be a pleasurable experience to work with. And I want the person that's ultimately going to have it, wear it, cuddle it, whatever, to have a nice sensory experience on that end as well. So, you know, I'm really not a rustic wool kind of girl. And what I really loved about this store is they had a lot of Laines du Nord, which I always thought was a French brand. I really did, because it really sounds like a French name to me. And those seem like French words, but it is absolutely an Italian brand made in Italy, with lovely yarns. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely yarns. And I am kicking myself. There was a gorgeous pink cashmere that was 28 euros a skein. I'm pretty sure it was just in that video clip. And if this had been the third store, that would have come home with me, but it was my first store. And I didn't want to sort of splurge like that. But it was something like 300 and something meters. And I certainly could have made myself a gorgeous scarf with it. And it was just so lovely. Not that what I bought isn't lovely. I very much like what I bought. She had so many Italian brands. I mean, I don't know that there was anything in that store that wasn't Italian. So a great place for souvenir yarn if you are in Italy and want. But you could really touch and feel and have that sensory experience. And one of the things that was really so surprising to me today is how many merinos I touched that I was just like, if I had ordered this, I would have been disappointed. You know, I have it in my head that merino is soft wool. Merino doesn't feel woolly. And I've been working on a merino project. In fact, that's what I was doing the whole time I was driving to Italy, was just working with this merino. And then I was touching these others and they had scratch to them. They had more texture than I desired in my wool yarn. So I thought that was really very, very helpful. And there were other yarns more in the other stores that I really did like and enjoy, but I wasn't going to buy a German yarn in Italy. That was, to me, that was so clear. I was just, if I'm going to buy a German yarn, I'm going to do it at home. I just am. I'm still in like the Italian mode. It's rosé, not Aperol Spritz, which is, everybody was drinking Aperol Spritz. But I needed to wet my whistle in order to talk about all this lovely, lovely fiber. Anyway, I did make a purchase. I made a purchase in every store. Let's be real. And I bought, sorry, doing math. Why is it? I always mess it up. I bought 7 balls, but I only sort of bought 3 projects. So, and kind of only 2 yarns. So I bought, and I'm not even sure I showed this very much on the video. As you can see, it was a tiny store. So even turning around to video, I was like afraid of knocking things over, and I didn't want to talk on the videos. And this is true throughout. I'm not talking in the stores about the various yarns because mostly there were other customers. I was trying to be respectful. I was trying not to film any people. I was sort of, in most of the stores, you know, that was part of the request. Yes, please do film, and we're so glad you're here. But, you know, respect the privacy of the staff and the other customers, which I think is totally appropriate. Plus, it's also kind of weird to film and be talking to yourself with other people in the store. I don't know. I felt a little awkward about that. So anyway, I just made sure to try and get it. But it's cozy. It's cozy. But a gem for how small it is. And I really liked this store. It really was. I came out sort of buzzed and on a high. My cheeks were all pink. My husband's like, "You had a good time in there, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I could spend the whole day." So the first yarn that I bought in 2 different colorways, and this is Miss Tricoat Filate. It's I was going to say a German yarn. It's an Italian yarn made in Italy, and I bought the Van Gogh Batik Luxe, I think. And I bought it in this pretty sort of moody rainbow. 2 of my young boys are just obsessed with rainbows right now. And I understand why. Like my older son, my firstborn, he's a rainbow baby. He's on the spectrum. He's just sort of taken ownership of the rainbow, and he is actually quite talented when it comes to art. People, you know, when people say their 8-year-olds are good artists, you get sort of a skeptical look, but this is actually like, he actually is very talented and loves to talk about blending colors and mixing colors. And so the rainbow thing for him works. And my 4-year-old just idolizes his older brother. And so lately he's been like, I am all about the rainbow. He's 4. I'm all about the rainbow. The rainbow is my favorite. I love the rainbow. This is yesterday. We were visiting an island and we went in the souvenir shop and I'm like, I'm going to see if they have this dinosaur t-shirt that we have in various sizes, but he now no longer fits his. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go in and see if they have your size. And they didn't. And he's like, but I want it in rainbow. I'm like, it doesn't come in rainbow. Blue is your favorite color. Blue has been your favorite color forever. He's like, no, I am all about the rainbow, Mom. I'm like, I am making you a blue sweater for Christmas. I am knitting a blue sweater for Christmas. Like, kid, you're staying with blue. Anyway, so they were all about the rainbow. And so I thought, this sort of moody, I don't really know. Let's be honest. I don't really know. But this is not going to go to waste in my home. I love the sparkle. I love a moody rainbow. Let's see. So this one is 97% microfiber and 3% metal polyester or metallic polyester. I'm telling you, my Italian is not great. Okay. It's a 100-gram ball for 360 meters. Wash on cool, lie it flat to dry. Don't put it in the dryer. Don't iron it. Suggested needles and hooks are 4 to 5 millimeter. I would say that it's a 3-weight. I will probably use a bigger hook than that. But as we know, I have very tight tension. So, and there is a teeny tiny gauge watch and without, I have bifocal contacts in and I still can't read it. I think it's 20 stitches and 24 rows for 10 by 10. Do not quote me. Do not quote me. But that's what I think. And so I ended up buying it in 2 colorways. You know how I love my greens. And this one I thought I want to do something for the 2 ladies that are sort of the one-on-one support in the schools for our autistic boys. And one of them, green is her favorite color. And so I thought this might be an option. It might be an option for her. But green is also my favorite color. So I don't know. How can you go wrong? It's got sparkles. It's got dimension. It's got meterage. It's got it all. So, and it's a Van Gogh from Italy. How could I not? So I did. 2 balls. I paid, I have the receipt here, $4.90 per ball. €4.90 per ball. A bargain. Bargain, I say. Now, the next is maybe, no, it is. I was going to say maybe to like be fair to all the other yarn that I bought that I also have feelings for. But my favorite, if we were speed dating, this is the name that I'd put on. I think that's what you do. You put a check, but anyway. Is a Lanes du Nord, made in Can I not say Italy today? I've got Germany, now I'm making it in Israel. No, made in Italy. Italy, the country that I was in for most of the day, made in Italy. This is the Cash Silk Light Luxury line. And I got it in just a pretty cream. It just said like winter snowball. I don't know. liked it. There were other colors, and I was like hemming and hawing, and I'm like, I'm just going to get it in white. Cream. This is color 1. Does have dye lots. She pulled them all out of the same bag, so I'm assuming the dye lots are the same, but I did not check. Yeah, they're all the same. I bought 5 balls. I bought 5 balls because it doesn't actually have a ton of meterage. So they're 25 gram balls. That's why. 25 gram balls for 145 meters. It is 68% llama for 16 microns. They even have the microns on here. I love it. And okay, it is, sorry. It's a little complicated here. It is 68% llama merino mix, but both 16 microns, both the llama and the merino that is in that mix, they both have a softness score of 16 microns. The lower the number, the softer the feel. 22% silk and 10% cashmere. And it is just like that. Yeah. It's like holding luxury in my hand and not at a luxury price. So the cashmere, the ball of cashmere that was 100% cashmere, I think it was 100% cashmere, the pink one that I was talking about, was 28 euros a ball. And I think it was 50 grams. This was 5 euros and 90 cents a ball. And so I bought 5 balls because I wanted enough to do like a blankety kind of scarf. Can you see it? It's not really my color, but I love this idea of it. It's got like a fuzz texture to it. And I just love the idea of that in a white sort of snowball fluff for winter. I really like this yarn. I really like this yarn. So anyway, that was the first store. And this was my yarn of the day. I guess I should have ended with it, but it was the first store. The decisions of making a YouTube vlog. Does this count as a vlog? I don't know. I'm sitting in a bed in our holiday house. Where'd I go next? We went to the city center next. And one thing to note, very important, when shopping in Italy, many stores, especially small stores or specialty stores, close for several hours in the afternoon for long lunch, siesta, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of the stores will close down at 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that, and then don't open again until like 4:30. So that is something to be aware of. And the reason we went to this one second is because we knew it was going to shut down for sort of a 4-hour break. I think it closed at 12:30 and was reopening again at 4:30. And that one is this one. So that store is called Culotte. They have Facebook and Instagram. Put it on there. And I will try to remember to put that in the description. And if I don't, it's just because life has gone on between making this and actually finally editing a video together and posting it on YouTube. In this store, I picked up, I'm just going to say 2 projects. Okay, I think that will make sense. I think that makes the most sense. So, as I have mentioned, and maybe you know if you've been around here for a little while, we ballroom dance, and our kids have done the school courses, but then have carried on. And of the 4 originals, the youngest one is about to have it's levels, right? So it's beginner, kind of advanced beginner, or next steps. They call it Fortschritte. And then it's bronze, silver, gold, gold star, and then there's like double gold star and triple gold star. So he's about to have his gold ball, and I am designing a shawl to have, especially because this one will be in November, and my ball gowns don't tend to have arms, and that's fine when we're dancing because you're warm and you're twirling and everything else. But coming in, coming out, sitting in between dancing, when you're, drinking and talking to the other people at your table, whatever, I can get a little chilly on my arms. So I just want something I can wrap on, or if it's going to stay on, that it's got to be able to stay on, and yet I've got to be able to move. So I've never really found anything that worked. So I started designing my own. And so shortly, the silver ball shawl tutorial and pattern will be available. Just working on those videos and trying to figure out how to do them effectively, so you can actually see what I'm doing and could follow along from the video itself. So that's the silver ball, but like the gold ball is next month, so I needed to design it. And I started working with a yarn, a Stenley yarn, but there's just not going to be enough of it for the kind of shawl that I need it to be. And I was actually using somebody else's pattern from Olga Poltava. Surprise, surprise. I use a ton of her stuff because she's awesome. But I really hadn't picked the right yarn for that, and I have kind of abandoned that whip. I would like to make that project in the future in an appropriate yarn, but I decided to buy something else, and then I went into the next store and I found something that would have been better, which I didn't buy. I just stuck with what I had bought. And I think I'm going to make it work. So this is Mondial, another large Italian brand. I only bought Italian yarns, but this one is purely acrylic. It's completely microfiber. 95% microfiber PC and 5% microfiber PL. I don't know what the difference is, and to be honest, I bought them this afternoon and I haven't cared enough yet to even try to look it up because it's microfiber. 100% microfiber. 300 grams for 330 meters each, and I bought 4 balls in 2 very similar colorways. This is looking whiter on screen than it is. It's and maybe because it's beside the beige one. I couldn't decide which would be better for the gold ball. I mean, I'm hoping you can see that there is actually gold shine and sparkle in that. And then this one, this one from a distance really looked gold. And then when I got it up close, I'm like, oh, it's kind of browny beige. Not sure. And then this one from a distance was really clearly white. And then when I got it closer to me, I'm like, oh, that seems maybe more like a gold ball. And then I'm like, I don't know. So I just bought 2 of each, and I'm just gonna shawl them up. I'm gonna make something. I'm gonna put together a design for it. And I decided, you know, the gold balls are usually in the winter, in the colder months. So having a thicker yarn, I would say it's a 4-weight, sort of classic worsted. Oh, I am having so much trouble. There was one yarn that was like a mohair, but a thick mohair. You know, usually it's mohair is sort of like lace weight that you hold with something. But this was like a 3-weight mohair. And I wanted to show it, and I just could not get a strand on my finger. I mean, I must have sat there with the camera for like 3 minutes and never did get my finger in. I'm just like, okay. I cut that out. And then I tell you about it. So anyway, that's the gold ball shawl. And I'm just having like buyer's remorse, which I shouldn't. Like, I made an informed choice when I bought it. I knew the project that I had in mind. It probably is the right yarn. But then I saw something that I liked even better. And so it made me go, eh. And the other thing is, I paid €6 a ball for this. And the other was €6 a ball. And I think what it is it was super soft, though. Touching this again, this is really soft. I mean, it's soft. I don't buy stuff that's not soft. And I think that has just sort of colored. It was much lighter weight yarn, which we know I love. I don't tend to go for 4 weights, and I really don't go above that very often. And I've just been working on the sweater for Mom with an Aran weight and almost a sport mohair together. And I'm just like, my hands hurt. I know some people have the opposite problem, like the lighter weights make their hands hurt. But for me, it's far more like I start to feel it in my elbow and that when I'm, anyway. Old lady problems. Old lady problems. I hope you don't have them. And the second one, I bought a sweater's quantity of a Mondial super extra fine. Oh, I thought it was vegan. And I'm like, how could it be a vegan merino? That would be interesting. But it's virgin. Something quite different. And virgin means it hadn't been pre-sheared, because the idea is that the first shearing of any animal is the softest. This is mulesing free. It's a super wash. They're 50-gram balls for 175 meters. I bought 5 balls. I think I meant to buy 6 balls. Originally, I was buying another blue yarn for little Edward to make him a sweater. And so for him, I needed 5 balls. But then I decided, like, I'm already making him a sweater. You guys are probably sick of seeing blue yarn on this channel. maybe it's time to make Teddy a sweater. And he doesn't talk. He really is very much nonverbal, but every now and then he will say a word, and they're really been working on some speech stuff with the speech therapist and the special school and his support person, and his new support person, who is a wonderful lady, has asked him several times what his favorite color is, and every time he has verbally said red. So I bought red yarn. But I seem to have only bought 5 balls of red yarn, and I probably should have bought 6. I plan to knit it because I'm really trying to work on my knitting, and it's time to start making sweaters. And I think I'd rather start with the little guy sizes than the, as I like to say, generously sized sizes. So yeah, 100% virgin merino, extra fine. This one was nice and soft. So many of the merino I touched today just had so much grab to it. But yeah, I really, and they had a bright red, but I just thought this sort of more, well, it's just a deeper red. It's not burgundy. It's not wine. It's just a deep, almost like blood red. I don't know. I just thought it was prettier. Sorry. I mean, the bright red was nice too. And if this one hadn't been there, I probably would have bought the bright red. But I just think it's really lovely. So that's the second store and the 2 projects for it. I gotta like pick up the pace, huh? Stop yakking so much over every single ball and like move it on, because you don't have 4 hours in your day to spend looking at my projects. But okay, so those are the projects. The next store, the third store, lovely lady in there. I had great yarn conversations, even though we didn't speak a lick of each other's languages, not at all. And yet I really felt like I understood what she was saying to me 90% of the time. It was really cool. So anyway, the name of the store. The name of the store is, it's long. I grabbed a card. Is it in the bottom of this? Sorry, big bag. L'altra Merceria Sass. Dita Mateus and C. Okay, so I knew I had got a business card from there, and they are on Instagram, even though it's not on the card. So I will link that account because I will remember. Most of the yarn I bought in the store, I don't have any idea why I bought it. One, I was having a good time. And 2, I was like, I don't know what I was like. There was something I really, really wanted. And when I was going around with her and talking about, okay, what is Italian? And she was so helpful with what was Italian and what wasn't. One of the things that I really liked was a circulo yarn, which is Brazilian. And she was like, it's not Italian. It's not Italian. I'm like, I know, but it's pretty. But it was also like I still had the gold ball shawl in my mind. And if you've been here for a while, you know I tend to buy yarn for the same project multiple times until it's like made. Because it's in my mind. But this one, dudes, I don't know what possessed me. Well, I was surprised because it's ecological cotton. It's thick cotton and it's soft. But she said, you know, it's mostly for bags, but you could make like t-shirts and stuff out of it, but it's macrame yarn. And I got it in like paper bag brown. Have you ever seen me buy something in paper bag brown? But in my defense, I was looking at the colors and they had so many colors and many very vivid, very beautiful colors. But I was thinking, but what would I want like as a bag? Can you hear the dog snoring? It's the Alta Dama, as we call her. The old lady dog. But she's sleeping right here and she snores like, so I imagine you can hear it. Please bear with her. I was just thinking like, I'll make a bag from it to see. Because like when she handed me one of these doing the tour, I was like, I don't think I want to touch that. And then I touched it and I'm like, it's so soft for 100% cotton, like an ecological cotton, like, and it's a thick one. I don't know. I'm going to make a bag. It's 150 grams for 200 meters. Oh, that's not even a whole lot of meterage. I'm going to make a small bag. But it's not 100% cotton. Okay, ricolato. I think maybe that's 100% ecological. 100% recycled, maybe? Reciclato, recycled. I saw that and thought 100% cotton, but that's not Italian for cotton. Cotona is Italian for cotton. And it is 80% cotona, cotton, 20% polyester. I can wash it on 40. Says no dryer. Says I can iron it. You would need 500 grams to make a medium-sized sweater. Recommending 3 to 4 millimeter. 3 to 4 millimeter. Do you see the size of that? Hooks or needles? I mean, well, looks like a 3-weight to me. Not a skinny 3-weight. 3-weight that, you know, if it eats a little more, it could go up to a 4. Yeah, I know I'm crazy. It's okay. It's all right. So it's made in Italy. I don't know. I'm gonna make a bag with macrame yarn. What did I pay for the macrame yarn? I don't even know what the prices of things were in there. Okay, so that's that. That is that. So it was either 8 or 9 euros. But I don't know if it was 8 or 9 euros. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, it's soft. I've never felt macrame yarn that was so soft. It's recycled, ecological, all these things. These are all good things. These are all good things. And I don't know, brown paper bag color for a little bag. I'll play with it. I'll make something. I'll make something. Come along for the ride. You'll see it again. So the reason I don't know whether it's 8 or 9 is it just says merceria for everything. And then one of the items I bought 2 balls. And so I can tell which one that is. And one of the items I knew what the price was. So the one that is either the 8 or the 9 other is, this is, I don't even know which one is the brand name. I'm going to show you the ball. One of these I think is the brand name. Lano Royal. And this is Batik Lame. So it is 20% Lama, 75% acrylic, 5% PL. Whatever the PL is, I'm assuming is those are the other dogs. Those are our dogs. They keep finding hedgehogs in the garden out there. And the hedgehog doesn't like go down a hole and hide. It just like goes into the ball and spikes up. And so then the dogs are like, how do I get near this interesting looking ball? And why is Papa not throwing it? And the hedgehog is just there like, ah. I guess my husband got them away from the hedgehog. Run, little hedgehog, run. There's never a quiet time here. I'm still on family vacation. But after this one, I will show you the reason why I needed to do this tonight. Tonight, because I don't have something on my hook. And the next one is what I want to put on my hook. So I had to do this. Okay. Less about the dogs, more about the Lama acrylic PL. And as I was saying, I think the PL is the sparkle in there. This was a store where a lot of the yarns I was expecting to be super soft, had a little bit of grip, and this one has sort of a nice fuzzy halo on it. It's not as soft as it looks, but when I was touching the other ones, it felt so much softer. And it's blues and it's sparkly, and I will use it for somebody. Somebody will get a scarf out of this, because like, I feel like 80% of the people I know, blue is their favorite color. They're saying 3 to 4 millimeter hook or needles for this. I would say that's probably right, because I think this is probably a sport weight. Oh, get your finger in there. I'd say that's probably a sport weight. Okay, I think 26 stitches to 50 rows for 10 by 10. Could that be possible? I don't know. Knitters, am I getting that anywhere close? Tell me. And 100 gram for 550 meters. So it's going to be a scarf for somebody, I imagine. It'll probably go into like the shopping stash. So when I have somebody I need a project for, I go shopping. Oh, here, they have blue. They like blue. They're sparkly. Great. The next one here. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay. So I now know the brand name of that one because this is the same. I was going to say this is the same brand name, but it's got both things on this ball too. I just didn't keep looking down. Whether it's the Trieste as part of the world, we're missing a lot of vowels. The Croatian name for Trieste, where we were, is Trieste. There are no vowels in it. None. It's just 4 consonants in a row. I need vowels. But how do you go from an S to an F without a vowel? I don't know. So, or it's filati trees. Do your best. That's what I did. So this is the Maya. It is 20% llama, 80% acrylic. And this one I bought purely because it felt nice. Like I said, I don't really care what the fiber is if you've got the right feel. Though I do love llama, alpaca, camel. These are some of my favorite fibers. Cashmere, silk. Who am I kidding? I like it all. Let me give you some good information. Okay, it's Oikotech. That's great. 50 grams for 200 meters. So I bought 2 balls for $6.80 a ball. And they are saying 3 to 4 millimeter hooks, no needle recommendations. And then, you know, the standard. Wash at 30, lie it flat to dry, keep it out of the dryer, don't iron it, don't look at it funny. Sport. As I don't think I can say 3 for that. Maybe. It does have a little bit of that, I would say roving, but it's not sort of single ply there. We can see we've got 2 strands twisted together, but that one's certainly thicker. But then you get over here, and that's not even pushing sport, right? So we've got a lot of diversity. And so I'm not even going to try and say a size. My husband's assistant went above and beyond the call for us while we've been on vacation. Not just feeding our cats and bringing in our mail, but she went over and above. Doing that, feeding the cats, bringing in the mail, doing that is not part of her job description. She just did it because she's a lovely human being, but she dealt with a situation that I was freaking out about over here, and my husband went to deal with it to find out she'd already handled it. It was already done, already taken care of. I'm just like, you get a thank you gift. You get a thank you gift. This is going to be turned into a lovely scarf, maybe scarf and 400 meter scarf for sure. This is my, I need something on the hook project that will go on as soon as I finish showing you the last and final yarn from Italy. This is thank you gift. These are the colors will look beautiful on her. It's got greens and browns, and it's pretty. It's pretty. It's soft. It's nice. I'm going to say thank you. So that one I really wanted was, you know, baubles, the 4 strands of loose threads. They're almost always things like cotton acrylic blends because they're thread that you're working with. And this store, they were wool. They were wool. They were llama and some kind of wool. But then when I was feeling it, they had so much scratch. And I don't know. I had so much soft going on today that I just didn't want to pick something that wasn't soft. And I think probably because it was wool, they were a little thicker than normal size baubles. So I probably would have needed two to really make the kind of project that I think about with a bauble, like a big triangle shawl. Or I don't know if I'm going to regret that, not getting it. But I did buy a cake. This one here. Super soft. This is my language. Super soft. And it was just sort of pretty. I just kept going back to look at it. And this colorway specifically, they had it in other colorways. So this is that brand again. Trey, we need some more vowels in our names so that the English people can say it. 150 gram for 410 meters. So certainly enough for a nice size scarf rather than shawl per se. This is the Luminare. It is 10% llama, 40% cotton, 20% acrylic, 30% polyester, and the kitchen sink. Hand wash, lie it flat to dry, but you can iron it. Very interesting. I'm wondering what is in here that you would have to hand wash it. I might not. You know me, I'm a rebel. Recommending 5.5 to 6 millimeter knitting needles and 5 to 5.5 crochet hooks. That's interesting. Oikotech certified. And I think we have a blown yarn. They're blown or chainette. That is not my center pull, so I don't want to pull it too far. If I get rid of my face, does it focus on any better? And it looks like chain, looks like blown. So blown yarns, we've talked about this many times. It's sort of a chain that is probably the polyester. No, could be the cotton. And then the fibers are blown into that chain, which gives it sort of this sort of furry, halo-y texture. Makes it super soft, light, plush kind of yarn. Easy to work with, and generally you don't have the same issues with splitting or that as well. So I bought it because it was soft and pretty. I bought it because it's soft and pretty. Kind of like me. I don't say things like that. All right, so that's what I bought in Italy. That's the Italian haul. I'm gonna have to cut some of this out because this is very long. I talk for a long time. I'm going to go finish my drink. Thank you for joining me. If you are subscribed, thanks, you're awesome. Feel free to thumbs it up, comment, whatever. If you're not subscribed, come on over, be awesome. Like my other subscribers. It's free, it's not gonna cost you anything. You will have to listen to me talk, but if you're hearing this, you've listened to me talk this long, you might as well continue. So yeah, do that. Do all that YouTube-y stuff. It's great. I like it. I give you a thumbs up if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe and do all that other stuff. I am too tired to give you a sales pitch. So do it if you want to. And if you do, I will see you in another video. Bye for now. Happy stitching. seems to be full.